Has babyface Omar downplayed the death of Amy Winehouse as something happened to a hypnotic, beehive, horn-hiding, Benjamin-loving devil woman who exploited the great Palestinian songbook for all it's worth? Can I get a holla for making fun of the racist, runt, babyface Omar? Never gets old, always gives me a calm feeling. Holla! Thank you very much. What was the big reveal from the Mueller hearing today? He only parts his hair with good old-fashioned elbow grease. Can I get another holla? For I can't help but raise the roof excessively into the higher stratosphere of the laugh-yanking, piercing comedy heavens. Holla! Don Cheadle calls Trump the most frightening man on the planet. Why do I get the impression Samuel L. Jackson would deliver that line in a more dramatic, convincing fashion? That's right, Tarantino hasn't written shit for you because you lack gravitas. Omar calls for abortion access for illegal aliens. My brain needs to recompute that sentence. I don't think illegal aliens are coming to America for the red carpet Planned Parenthood treatment because they're tired of telling Hector to pull out already. Andale, andale! Pump fake, pump fake! The squad fears violent attacks against them. Obama did call ISIS the JV squad, but the comparison ends there, knowing they encourage Antifa to terrorize MAGA country at large. Mayor Pete insists white nationalism is the most deadly form of terrorism in the USA. What about the unmasking of Hondurans standing up to MS-13 by the New York Times because they're still with her for some reason? Care to comment? Children of the Corn? Impeachment first, prison next. Sure. And the Knicks offseason was a resounding success. Stop ruining the allure of me ever wanting to work in Hollywood. Moron resistors. Every single one of you. You're all off the list. Cory Booker wants to punch Trump because the president writes punchier material than he does. It disgusts me to see Schumer and the blonde bitch feeding off the goodwill from 9/11 first responders, knowing they support sanctuary cities, which put men in blue at most risk. Neither's done dick to demonize the cop-hating mayor in charge now either. This is me being interviewed about my book yesterday on a podcast that teaches writers successful methods that have worked for them as far as getting their books marketed and sold, so they don't need to be dependent, bitchy underlings who feel like consummate failures the rest of their lives. Not that I would know from personal experience. So this is me being interviewed by the host yesterday. Host says to me, "What's your favorite quote?" And I said, "I'll quote the great Rabbi Mendel Schneerson. Think good, and it will be good. It won't help babyface Omar impeach Trump or help her impose Sharia law in America, but I digress." It's me at the Foot Doctor. Hey, Doc, if you want to learn who fails the friendship litmus test, write 2 books in 2 years, looking after 3 kids with 0 help from grandparents, and you'll learn how much they suck real quick. Foot Doctor laughs, "Long time!" Larry Charles, Seinfeld writer alum. Entourage also. Encourages the left to arm themselves. Against who? MS-13 extras on the Fox lot for a remake of American Me? Can I get a holla? For an A+ Gen X reference that I had to Google to make sure I got the correct name because I thought that like the punchline was too good to be true. Holla! So this is my impersonation of Mueller taking the stand and Ted Cruz grilling him. Mueller, how did Trump obstruct justice again? He didn't fire you. You got a gag order on Roger Stone. He didn't sue BuzzFeed for defamation for the Eurotrash golden shower tale. Still waiting. Mueller, Mueller, Mueller. You deep state, puppet pawn, senile, divisive, devil spawn incarnate hack of the lowest order. I don't understand how a Marine could sing so low. But I'm not going to ruin my flow, wasting any more breath on Mueller, Mueller, Mueller. My parents are so selfish. They pushed for my family of 5 to move next to them in Arizona for East Coast heatwave weather stretched out to 4 months a year, and had no plans to up the AC to drown out Unibrow Maddow whenever we visit. My love for the Knicks has been reduced to bemused, perverse scorn. Now I'm aroused at MJ wrecking the Allen Houston "Not Every Shot Was So Pretty" Knicks on YouTube in 1997. This is me giving my wife grief on purpose via text. I'm not rubbing it in, but none of the kids are sunburned from yesterday, nor have they made any reference to their skin catching fire yet. Planned wedding party speech from my younger brother. My brother's mother-in-law, Honey, compelled my mother to pretend all the wonderful, emotive superlatives Honey showered in my honor were an extension of her own sincere feelings about me. This is me freaking out locals at the pool as I smash my 2-year-old son knees into the water after hoisting him up high in the air again and again. Breaking baby! More convincing pump fake! Baby Samuel headbutts the sky! Typhoon alert part 2! It's me in the pool talking to some English kid. He's probably like 8. He says, I'm holding my baby Samuel. He's 2. Doesn't notice swim yet. English kid. He says, your baby looks like a girl. And I said, yes. My son without makeup is hotter than David Bowie minus being overtly glitzy creepy. And Eddie Izzard is gross. Makeup on or off. Piers Morgan included, on or off the telly. There's nothing worse than the Kindle Kid takeaway scream. I thought Kelly Osbourne made entitled bitchery sink to new, deplorable lows on Fashion Police. It's my mom in Tahoe warping reality again over the phone in her favor. In Tahoe, I always think of our time here with you and Natalia, Scoops. You mean before you disinvited us 2 kids later because my stay-at-home dad of shame didn't warrant a family retreat? Diversity is our strength. Like Michelle Obama invited Joan Rivers to the White House for a sponge cake to break her Yom Kippur fast. She-Hulk, scowl, please. Diversity isn't always great because me marrying a Gentile resulted in my unhuggable C-word of a mother-in-law force-feeding communion wafers down my Jew blood-infused kids' throats behind my back, which isn't kosher in our book, Michelle. So this is me doing material on Honey, my younger brother's future mother-in-law. He's getting married in like 27 days. I always get your daughter looks like your twin, and I reply, yeah. Once I grossed out my daughter and said, my DNA is all over your face. Honey, my younger brother's future mother-in-law, laughs a long time. So this is me hanging out with my brother's future father-in-law. He says, I respect your tenacity. And I said, yeah. When your mom admits in a letter she'll never show an interest in your writing career, it tends to propel your love of joke slinging into ridiculous speed. It's me talking to Honey. Honey's talking about this like Pixar movie She's an educator. She's retired. Never really watched a lot of movies. So she talked about like the first Pixar movie that she saw. She couldn't remember the name. She says, this Pixar movie had this like sensual lovemaking scene on a beach in Cuba. And I said, saying adios to Burt Lancaster's hairy spine was a welcome relief. Honey laughs again. Long time. At this point, it was safe to say that my brother's future mother-in-law was hot for son-in-law's brother. Honey. I love that name. You would think it's a nickname, but it's an actual name. I mean, it just engenders immediate endearment. She's got a great laugh, too. And she didn't have a pretentious bone in her body. It's very comical. My brother complains about the need to feel on the ball around her. I'm thinking, like, maybe don't rape your brain of any workable brain cells by doing the nose candy with your 40th birthday right around the horizon. So this is me, well, this is Honey flirting with me again. She says, move the flowers out of the way so I can stare at Michael's handsome face. I said, my younger brother isn't dealing well with me being your dream celebrity lay in the making, Honey. This is me back at the pool club, talking to this old school Jew that played basketball at Syracuse back in the day, and he wasn't very tall, so he looked phenomenal. He was in his 70s, easily could beat up my father and my father-in-law without breaking a sweat. And they're not like complete fat slobs either. So anyway, he looked great, and I was getting lots of laughs from him and his wife. And at one point he says to me, the old school cool Jew says, you know, there's ways to prevent unwanted pregnancies. 'Cause I was telling him about how basically all my kids weren't bled. And he says, there's ways to prevent unwanted pregnancies. And I said, yeah, I never mastered the art of the pump fake. All my dad taught me was a half-formed hook shot. This is the Do It All Dad Year podcast. Dad-friendly entertainment for you and me. What Gen X parents understand. Controlling my kids to comedy has made my kids great. I firmly believe you guys could do the same. Do It All Dad Does Jokes, now available on Amazon exclusively. In addition to Controlling My Kids, a comedy, a love story. Feel free to write emotive reviews in my honor, and I'll talk to you guys soon.